on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
I've actually put it up there pretty high. I'd at least go an 8 or above, mainly because I've had teams I feel like have underachieved maybe a little bit in the past, even though we have had some serious success. I feel like this team has probably overachieved more than any of my other teams before. We obviously have a strong leader, which is why you and I are sitting here talking today. But we've had a really nice season out of DJ Himmerling. He's basically medaled at every tournament he's played in other than the Moberly tournament. And then Lance Couch, our third man, has medaled, I believe, twice, and really far exceeded kind of the expectations that I had for him. And our 4 and 5 guys have contributed kind of alternately a few times and allowed us to win the Skylar tournament and usually be, 3rd or 4th or 5th in the pack at every tournament we've been to. So I'd rate it pretty high.
Districts are at Kirksville. It's not your home course, but it's probably your home away from home. How much of an advantage does that give you?
I mean, you have to be honest and acknowledge that it is a huge advantage. We don't go up there and play all the time, I mean, obviously, but we do get up there a couple times throughout the year. We actually had a tournament there Tuesday, so the boys got to see the course in very similar conditions as to what they're going to be seeing it on Monday. And then, like Logan and DJ have played it in the past as well in previous seasons, so that experience at that course, as hard and fast as it can get, is definitely an advantage.
And it's pretty simple. You got to win. You don't have to win, but it's nice to win districts to advance to sectionals, and that's your goal is to win every one of these.
Yeah, I mean, Marceline is very strong. I mean, they're definitely the strongest team in our district, at least the strongest team that I've seen this year. So, I mean, realistically, if they play well and we play well, I think they beat us most of the time. But that second place spot is up for grabs, and there's a lot of teams that are very equal. And so I think, you always want to win, but realistically, our goal is to slide in that second spot and get the whole team through to sectionals.
Sectionals, that's probably the key tournament, more than going to state, and that's the one you have to perform in.
Yeah.
And basically it comes down to focus on what you're doing in the sectional.
Yeah, sectionals is when I first started coaching, there was no sectional. It was districts and then state. They added that sectional tournament in there to kind of strengthen the field at state, to weed out a few of those players that really weren't needing to be at state. And so there's no medals, there's no trophies. There's really the only thing the sectional tournament is about is cutting down the field for state. And so to motivate yourself, the only motivation is getting through to that state tournament. There's no hardware involved. So the course, Green Hills, is a course that we're all very familiar with. I've played several girls tournaments over there, several boys tournaments over there. So we know what we got to do at that course to play well.
And you guys go to state. Let's just say Logan goes to state. I'm not saying your team's not going to go. Let's just say Logan's going to go to state. This will be his 4th year. He has the experience. He knows the drill. He knows what's going on. He knows he's going to be among probably the top 5 or one of the favorites to win it all. How much is all that experience helping?
Well, the experience that he's had in the state tournament in the past is obviously to his advantage. But Logan also, he played in the Big I National Tournament last year out in California, and he plays a lot of MGA events, junior events throughout the summers over the last few years. So his tournament experience is probably more than anybody in that entire field. And when you're teeing it up and playing it down and counting all your strokes, and you've got video cameras there and your family watching and all that stuff, that experience over the last 4 years is definitely going to help him out.
Is it a shy away from to embrace maybe a little bit? Huh?
Yeah, I mean, he usually is the favorite when he plays. So, that in and of itself it helps you with your confidence. Logan's a quiet kid and doesn't really wear his confidence outwardly. But I do know that when he plays, having that success in those events in the past and having that experience and all that leads into your confidence. And this game, confidence is a huge factor in playing well in these big events when there's a lot of people there and a lot of other good players.
How was his game? improved this year?
I mean, you know, he came into the season a really good player, but I do think, and I think his parents would also say, and other people that have seen him play a lot, that he has improved tremendously. His length, for sure, has improved. He hits the ball a long ways. That's something that I've seen a big change in from last year. But just the management of the game, like we call it course management, you know, not always necessarily just because you can hit it farther than everybody else, not always taking driver off every tee and dissecting a hole down into yardages that he feels that he can hit on command. And that's why I believe he's made 21 birdies, an eagle, so far this season. I mean, he's making 3 or 4 or 5 birdies every time he plays, so you've really got to improve in every aspect of your game to make birdies like that.
Districts is at Kirksville this year, and I've played that course. I have the experience there. We played our practice round actually last Tuesday, and I managed the course well. I wasn't hitting the ball the best. I hope the greens are more like a little faster pace, and I think I can make some putts and go pretty far.
How does that course fit your game?
It fits my game. I'm a longer player. The course doesn't have as much trouble. All your trouble is more around the greens. I think I've got my short game to where I can play around the greens just about anywhere.
How are you a better player than you were last year?
I've been definitely longer off the tee, and my putting I've been working on my putting tremendously, and actually management. We've getting the exact yardages and dissecting the hole to yardages to where I know I can play from.
How does the course at State fit your game? You've played there before. How does that course fit your game?
It's definitely a longer course too, so I'm definitely going to have to keep, if I can stick to the same driver swing that I've been hitting these past few weeks, I think I can play that course and make some birdies and definitely get up and down for some pars, and you never know.
How much will all your experience help you?
Well, I do have more experience, especially at like the state level. I've played several different harder courses, I guess, and I mean, it's going to help to an extent, but everyone can go out there and play better on a day.